after yesterday's huge victory on this tailgate, the energy is high. The vibes are flowing. The gumption is tangible. Today, we're coating this floor. We're gonna coat it with Herculiner. I'm gonna get this all cleaned up, and then we're gonna get this laid down. I'm using the Herculiner because I've used it before. I think if it was an exterior job, like if I was putting this in actual bed, I think I would use something maybe a little bit better. Monster Liner I've used in the past, it's really good. Or the Raptor coating, I've never used it, but it's also a 2-part epoxy. They have more UV resistance, but since this is inside, it's not gonna get all that UV hitting it. Also, I've done this before on a interior floor, and it worked out great. So we're gonna do it again. Coat 1 going down today. I was gonna time lapse this. Well, this is pretty boring stuff, so I'm just gonna show you guys what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna clean up everything. So like this little bit of rust, I'm just gonna hit all this stuff with like a wire wheel. And then like here's a little bit of adhesive here. A little bit of adhesive here. So I'm just gonna clean all this up as best as I can. And then here, it'll probably span this, but I'll probably put a little bit of caulking in there. Like all this little stuff all just needs to be cleaned up. So basically I'm just gonna take a wire brush, wire wheel, solvent, like this sticker stuff, all this gotta come off, get it as clean as I possibly can. And then I'll put the coating down, but the coating, getting the coating down is the easiest part. The prep is the hardest and the most boring, but the prep is the most important. So I'm not gonna bother time-lapsing this. You're gonna be bored out of your mind watching me wire wheel, wire scrape. No, that'd be boring. So I'm gonna just do it, and then I'll show you when it's clean. Okay, update. Tub is clean. First pass to here. I'm gonna go take lunch, and then I'll come back and do this. And then after that, I'll open that kit, read some directions. But I think after I get this clean with a wire wheel, I will then come back and hit the whole thing with a piece of sandpaper and then wash it down, maybe wipe it down with acetone before I start. All right, sanded everything, and I think it's good to go. I'm gonna wash the whole thing, soap and water, and then dry it all out. Then we're good, I think. All right, folks, I think we're ready to go. Everything's been sanded, washed down. I've got bolts in the holes for seats and seat belts with tape around them so the threads don't get ruined. That way, none of the Herculiner, none of the lining will get into the holes and mess up threads. So it's a moment of truth. It's time to go. I'm gonna start around all the edges, and then I'll come with a roller and get the big portions, and I will set up a little time lapse. With this Herculiner stuff, when you're doing corners, instead of brushing, you don't want to do that. You want to dab. That will help keep the texture. So you just want to go and dab along the corners. Just like that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and keep working around all these corners. And then we'll get to rolling the larger portions. And I'll set the time lapse back up then. half of the tub done. The camera makes it look a lot brighter in here than it is. It's pretty dark in here, so it's hard to see. It is just coat 1. I will put a second coat on this, so you can see where I stopped. I'm gonna go ahead and crawl in the back here and just work my way out. And then we're gonna call it a day. We'll come out in the morning when the sun's out, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, it's the next day. Pulled the Wagoneer out. You can see there's spots I missed where the coverage isn't great. See a little red primer through there. So we're gonna put the second coat on, and then maybe a third, but first the second. Alright, time for a Frank update. Got the doors on, got a hood on. Not sure if this is the actual hood I'm gonna run, but it's a hood for now. This I'll have to mess with the latch mechanism, but the reason I'm not using that green hood over there, the one off of Frank originally, is because this grill does not match that hood. The openings here, this from here to here, are different on that green one over there. So to work with this grill, I would either had to cut that one over there, or grind it, or just get a hood that originally went with the grill like this. So this is off the J truck. It's a little hammered, but it will work. Seats are in. Front seats. Back seat is in. I did end up finishing that second coat of floor liner of the Herculiner. Same with the back. In fact, the back's already dirty because, as you can see, there's holes in the wheel well, and I don't have panels here yet, both sides. So just from driving around my backyard, I did end up coating the wheel wells. And then on the tailgate here, this is a piece of 1/4 inch plywood that I coated with the Herculiner and then screwed down. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do that for here and here. So let me show you one other thing. I'm really happy with how well this trans tunnel area came out. I did the Herculiner on those little panel patches I made, and then we got everything together, and that's looking like a running, driving, ready to go vehicle. So I think right now I'm gonna go ahead and work on making these panels. I got some more 1/4 inch plywood, and I've got in a parts Wagoneer of mine, somebody did something similar to that, except for they're 2 different sections. So let me show you that. You can see here someone made some panels, but this is one panel, and then you can see a second panel there instead of it being one piece, and same on that side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these out, set these on the piece of plywood, trace it out, and I'll use that as a pattern to make basically one piece instead of 2. Okay, one other thing I wanted to show you guys before I start working on these panels is I took the headliner out. It was basically disintegrating. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do now. It's got a little bit of surface rust. I'll treat that. I don't think I'm going to put a headliner back in. I'm going to do what's in this parts Wagoneer here, where somebody just took sound deadening material and lined the roof. Okay, I got my pattern drawn out here. I just took these ones off, set it on here, and then just scribe the line. cut it out. Alright, I got these all ready for coating. Patch these up, sanded it nice and smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and get Herculiner on these. I'm not going to show you because you just saw me do a whole tub. There's no point in me wasting your time. I'll be back like that. And the panels are in. 1, 2. I'm in Frank and I'm working on the roof here. And I scraped all of the glue from the headliner off, and you can see the flakings are all over the place. It was fun. I scraped it off with this, and now taking this wire wheel and just hitting this. So you can see I did this section, but I have not done like this section yet, or this, so you can see the difference. It looks like they didn't even paint this. I mean, that looks like bare metal right there. So I don't think they even painted this before they put the headliner on. I mean, you can almost see where the paint line ends there. Alright, I got the whole roof cleaned up. Gonna wipe the whole thing down with some lacquer thinner and then hit it with some spray paint. Let me go see what I got. Found this in the cabinet, rust stop primer. This is perfect. So I'm gonna spray the ceiling with this, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Alright, got a coat of primer on there. I ran out of that one can I showed you guys. As you can see, there's a color change right here. But I found another half can and I had just enough to finish it. You gotta love it when that works out. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and put the liner up. I'll show you guys that, and then once that's up, I can put these cross braces up. These cross braces, this one, there's 3. One goes here, one right here in the middle, and then one towards the back. And those help support the roof, and then I'll be good. So this one, the other 2 are, I took all the way out. This one's still here because it has wiring for this light. I didn't want to cut it, so it's still sitting there. So I'm gonna get that lining on the roof. Like I said, it's just sound deadener, sound stuff, soundproofing stuff that I'm just gonna use as like, not even really a headliner. It's just to kind of clean this thing up, but essentially a headliner. And get that on there, and then I'll button this all up. I'll give you guys an update on that headliner once I start on that. Gotta wait for this to all dry. So sun's going down over here. It's gonna be dark. It'll probably be, maybe not tomorrow, but another day. So here's the product I'm gonna put on the roof, on the ceiling of the Wagoneer. Comes in a bundle like this. Let's go ahead and put this here. I mainly chose this because it doesn't have any markings on it. A lot of the other ones have, you know, the brand name or whatever right here. So it's just a sticker. You just kind of peel this off and then stick it on. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some measurements. We'll start cutting some pieces and get it on the Wagoneer. 53. Come on, 53 and a half. Let's cut at 53. see how it fits. Alright, I got it up there. And then I got all of these cross pieces back in. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I think it's good enough for Frank. So it's a pseudo headliner and it'll work. Alright, so now we got the interior floor done, got those panels on, we got everything Herculined in there. We got the headliner in and all that back together, so it's time to start working on the exterior again. So next video we're gonna work on this section here. Right here. I've got a pretty cool idea that I want to do here, and I've never seen it done before. Not saying it hasn't been done before, but I've never seen it done before on a Wagoneer. So make sure you stay tuned for that video. If I can pull this off, it'll be pretty cool. Thanks for watching.